Hello guys, welcome back to my channel again. This is the last video of our lecture series Indian Polity GS Prelims and 2020 MCQs. I hope you liked my videos. In this last lecture, I would love to discuss question number 16 to 20 which have been asked in this year IS Prelims 2020 question paper. So let's start with the question number 16. Now look at the question number 16. The preamble to the Constitution of India is four options are given. A is a part of the Constitution but has no legal effect. B is not a part of the Constitution and has no legal effect either. C is part of the Constitution and has the same legal effect as any other part. And D is a part of the Constitution but has no legal effects and it is independent of other parts. So if you see the preamble in the Constitution, before 1973 it was considered that preamble is not a part of the constitution, but after the verdict of Keshav Nanda Bharti case, the Supreme Court rejected the early opinion and held that preamble is a part of Constitution and it is of extreme importance, and the Constitution should be read and interpreted in the light of grand and noble vision expressed in the preamble. And in another case it was Supreme Court in the case of LIC of India case 1995. Supreme Court again held that the preamble is an integral part of the Constitution, but it does not have any legal effects and it is independent of other parts. So option D here is the right option. Now question number 17 is gold trench, or we can say that reserve trench refers to which of the following four options? Option 1 is it is a loan system of the World Bank. B is it is one of the operation of a central bank. C is it is a credit system granted by World Trade Organizations to its members, or it is a credit system granted by IMF to its members. Guys, we have recently seen this reserve trench in current affairs. So option D here is the right answer because it is a credit system granted by IMF to its members. Yes, basically it is an emergency account that IMF member can access at any time without agreeing to the conditions or paying any sort of services fees. So option D here is the right answer. Now look at the question number 18. With reference to the provisions contained in part 4 of the Constitution of India, which of the following statements are correct? So they indirectly asked about part 4, means directive principle of state policy is there in part 4. So we have to look at the three options and tell which one of the following quotes are right here. So if you see first statement, they shall be enforceable by court. No, and directive principle of state policy are not enforceable by courts. Fundamental rights actually the enforceable by courts, which is there in part 3 of the Constitution. So option 1 is not the right one. They shall not be enforceable by any court. Yes, this is the right one. They are not enforceable. Third is the principle laid down in this part are to be influence the making of law by the state. Yes, it should be, and it is the right option. So option D here is the right because it includes a statement second and the third only. Now look at the question number 19. Consider the following statements. Two statements are given. We again have to tell which of these statements are correct one. Statement 1 is according to the Constitution of India, a person who is eligible to vote can be made a minister in a state for 6 months even if he oblique she is not a member of legislature of that state. For your info, the Constitution has laid down only 4 qualifications for a person to be chosen as a member of state legislative. You can check it in the Indian Polity Lakshmikant books. So it is not included in that. So statement 1 is not the right one. Now look at the statement 2. According to the Representation of the People Act 1951, a person convicted of a criminal offence and sentenced to imprisonment for 5 years is permanently disqualified from contesting an election even after his release from the prison. Guys, for your more info, I would like to quote a statement which is there in the Representation of People Act for your more clarification of this statement. As per the Representation of People Act 1951, a person convicted of any offence and sentenced to imprisonment for not less than 2 years shall be disqualified from the date of such convictions and shall continue to be disqualified for the further period of 6 years since his release. So here statement 2 is also not correct. So option D here is the right option. Now question number 20 here is, consider the following statements. Again, they have given 3 statements and we have to tell which of these statements are correct one. So if you see, the first statement here is, the President of India can summon a session of the Parliament at such place as she thinks fit. Yes, President has power to summon each house of the Parliament to meet at such time and place as he thinks fit. So this is the right option. And if you see the second option, the Constitution of India provides for 3 sessions of the Parliament in a year, but it is not mandatory to conduct all 3 sessions. No, there is nothing else. Constitution has had like this, whatever they said. So this is not the right one. There is no minimum number of days of the Parliament is required to meet in a year. Yes, this is the right, because Constitution has never mentioned like this. There is no minimum number of days that Parliament is required to meet, unless it is given that the Parliament should meet at least twice a year. So statement 3 is also correct. So option C here is the right one. So you can say option C is the right option here. Thank you very much guys for watching my video. I would love to see your comments, and I requested to please share it, like and subscribe my channel for more videos like this. So thank you very much for watching my video.